Um, Mr. Nnedi, would you like to say something on that?
Yes. Okay. As our organization, we are currently hosting the Men Engage Nigeria Network. And this is a network that seeks to engage men and boys to end gender-based violence and any other form of discrimination against women and girls. The previous speaker before the last speaker, she made mention of something about starting from the home to make women on girls understand that your job is not limited in the home front. Your job is not only the kitchen. You also have the right to do whatever the boy child needs to do. And
Yes.
in all my years of experience in the work, I've just discovered one particular thing that have also limited women. I think most women lack self-esteem, and there is this belief, there is the way we are conditioned from the home that there certain roles are not meant for us. You can imagine in the home when you make a mistake as a girl, you are told this is how you will live in your husband's house. You are now telling the girl that everything she's doing as she's growing up is that to focus on the home. Nobody is talking
Exactly.
about her
Yeah.
growing career-wise. Nobody is talking about her achieving or attaining her dreams. The boys are given that opportunity to do whatever they want. So if we can start from the home, and we have been able to engage women in a lot of sensitization, because we also need to change this narrative for them to build their self-esteem, for them to understand that their girl child is not limited to they have potential to solve problems out there. And that is what we have done as an organization. Also, we have gone massively to use the media, to do a lot of sensitization advocacy on why men need to come on board to accept that women are not trying to take away their headship or anything. Rather, we are trying to create a world for us that is equal, that is more inclusive, a world where we can thrive without being judged or looked down on because of our gender. Then also, we have engaged so much on with religious leaders. And a speaker also talked about what religious leaders have done a lot of harm, because they have a way with words, and it is what they tell their congregation, that is what they believe. So we've also engaged them massively in this campaign for them to understand that we are not trying to take away the headship of men. Rather, we are trying to bring women to advocate for their rights. Women, so that there will be policies that will be made in place for women that are favorable to them. During this pandemic lockdown, a lot of girls could not access sanitary pad products. I mean, it was so terrible because even the prices got higher. And some of them engaged in unsafe sexual practices, so they can get money from boys to buy this. What we did to address this is that we now created a program of, um, we did not just distribute pads, we now had to bring in the idea of reusable sanitary pads to reduce this incidence of engaging in high-risk sexual behaviors, because these are the things that are exposing girls to. In fact, women and girls, we have a lot of issues, and until we get women
Really.
on board, we are not making it, because men will not know the in-depth of what we are going through. It is only us women,
Yes.
when we get there in that public spaces, we now begin to advocate for our rights, and then our voices can be heard. Policies will be created for us as women. This issue of women hating on women have also limited women. When sometimes when we see women that have achieved a lot of things, like some of the celebrities, maybe she built a house or she bought a car, we start seeing comments like she has slept with a man to make money. This is stereotyping women,
Yes.
making women feel that they cannot make it without a man's back. And you see these women most times coming
Amen.
out to defend themselves. Even we women also criticize them for making such a tremendous effort, or creating such a big mansion, or buying such a big car. We women also, we instigate a lot of violence, we say a lot of words that hurt, and we say a lot of things that make these women feel so bad. So it is time Through these things, we are beginning to change the narratives that women can, do every other thing. They have the same potential, just like men do. Thank you.
And all of that. We held a workshop among girls, and we asked a question. We give them papers and told them to write down obstacles they think they are facing in their homes. And most of them, what they majorly said was that um, they are most of their parents just put them in the kitchen. There's this limitation among them, especially like going into the issue, going into science as a woman. Most parents don't actually accept that. They'll just tell them to go to somewhere like art or commercial classes and all of that. Why they leave the science for the men. So that one is, and we see it that in most, like we had close to 100 girls there, and 80% of them were saying the same thing. And it really saddened my heart to actually see parents that are supposed to be carrying their female children up, but just pushing them down because they feel that they don't have that knowledge, or they can't achieve more than getting married and giving birth. So I'm so glad that we all have just been working hard in our different organizations, working hard to implement this women's political leadership, which will in turn take us higher. Thank you very much, Ma. And we'll be moving on to the third question. So we know that in Nigeria, forms of for joining a political party or campaigning for one is very expensive, and a lot of women that are actually willing to take political roles just can't afford this. So what do you think should be done as CSO, as a development partner, as a religious leader? What do you think should be done, and how can we put pressure on these political parties to reduce the cost, to encourage women to actually pursue electoral roles? Um, Madam Mojisola, would you like to answer that question, please?
Hello, I don't know whether you can hear me. Can I have the question again?
Yes, I said we know that in Nigeria, the forms for joining a political party or campaigning is very expensive, and a lot of women that are willing to take political roles just can't afford it. So, what do you think should be done? What are CSOs doing about this, and how can they put pressure on these political parties to reduce the cost to encourage women in pursuing electoral roles?
Yes, thank you very much. CSOs have been doing a lot in the past, targeting political parties, and now they can give women soft landing. But there are so many ways to it. Strategically, we can do advocacy to all the political parties in order to reduce the amount being charged for women. But there is also a backlash to that. A few years ago, when we advocated in a big party, I would say it's PDP, and PDP said, okay, women that wants to actually contest should come and pick the form free. By the time they do the primaries, the men use it against the women that after all, you didn't pay. So they can actually put you off the space. So it has its own
Wow.
backlash. Rather, we will
Yes.
advocate that our women movement can support women to raise this money to actually get the form so that we can be on a level playing field from the start. Or on the other hand, how we can do advocacy to INEC, the institution that is doing the elections, to make sure
Yeah.
that they give a policy for the political parties that when you are bringing candidates, if it is 20 candidates you want to bring to INEC, you must make sure that 10 are women, 10 are men. I would rather go for that institutional policy advocate than to beg for them to reduce the money
Okay.
for collecting a form to contest for a political space.
So
So
advocacy to
I think
INEC.
that is enough from experience. Yeah. How we can make a policy that will be gender friendly rather than, putting women aback that they don't have enough money to contest as male counterpart. That can give us a backlash not to even be a candidate to stand for election. Rather, we will just plant us as aspiring candidates but it will never pass through the
Anything will
primary
get
level
done.
at the political party level.
Yes. Wow.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you, Ma. Is there anyone that would love to say anything on that? Madam Abra, would you like to say something on that, please?
Hello, I'm here. Sorry. Just that I think at the grassroots level, raising money to support potential candidates would be a good idea. So campaigns. A lot of the if you look at in the States, a lot of the campaigns are funded by mostly small dollar contributions. They don't need to find some massive company or corporation to bankroll you. So I think it's really those institutions who have a vested interest in supporting women's political ambitions in Nigeria that need to give them the sort of the leg up, as it were, so that they can meet those financial responsibilities. Because to be disenfranchised from the process through a lack of money, I think it says something very terrible about the whole process itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certainly something that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, we're not going to get the sort of representation that we would like to see of women in holding positions of leadership. Particularly as you the former slide that you showed, the paucity of women in the Senate, I think, is quite shocking.
Yeah. It is. Thank you very much. It's quite shocking. The rate is just so low. It's just so low. Miss Sarah, would you like to say something? Miss Nnedi, would you like to say something?
Okay, I listened to the last speaker and the one before that. Yes, it is absolutely wonderful to come together and do a widow's mite contribution, financial contribution to enable the women stay on level ground, pay for the form, have, a bit of financial independence to run for a particular office or position. But in addition to that, I'm thinking perhaps if we can have like a women-led political party, where it's all about it's all about women, right? We can have support from the male gender, but it's like a women-focused political party where all the members are women. We reach out to women asking for support from women. We go down grassroots to mothers, wives, young girls, speak in schools, all girls schools. We have like a body, an umbrella that backs whoever is coming out as a candidate. Because I can bring it back to, I think two elections before the last. A woman came out to contest for the position of the president. It was quite shameful, as she was the only one that voted for herself at the primaries. So I'm saying, in addition to providing financial support, we should also have the manpower, meaning that we should have women at different spheres, women at the tech level, in the same political party, come together and coalesce and say, okay, all women-led NGOs, all the churches, the women organizations, women-led private and public organizations, peak influence to ensure that women are highly sensitized about, as a women-led NGO, we have vetted this person, we've done due diligence, and the person is going for XYZ position. And we want women, women of Nigeria. We are like, I think 65% of the total population, give or take minus children and those on the age. Would like to pull our weight behind this particular person so that we can make a stand that it's not just it's not just whoever the man-led party or the men-led party wants that will come into the office. Make it very transparent and clear, and ensure, like the previous speaker for the last said about ensuring that women are also present in the electoral body. Something of the sort. Ensure that women we have presence, and presence in all facets, so that we cannot say, we are a victim of rigging or things like that. Things of the like. I don't know if anybody has something.
Yes, I really support that. Women-led parties, women-led political parties, where it's all about women. I think that would be a very strong way of getting the women, gathering the women to come together. Mr. Nnedi, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, no, I think my co-panelists have done justice to the question.
Really, they have indeed. They have indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all your comments to all the questions we discussed today. So we'll just have a short overview of women's political participation in leadership positions in Nigeria so far. Please can you all see my slide? Can you all see the slide? Can you all see
Yes,
the screen?
yes, yes.
Yeah. So figures from the House of Representatives election shows a steep decline from the eighth house. 533 women contested, um, representing 11.9% of nominees. However, only 13 women were. Wow, that is really, really poor. And at the state level, no woman was elected governor, even when they formed 3.07% of the total contestants. Thus, the number of female deputy governors has similarly declined from 6 in the 2015 to 2019 regime to 4. Now down to 55 female state lawmakers in the 2015/2019 regime. 45 women were picked, representing 4.77% of the 944 members that were elected into the state assembly. The representation of women at the state legislation dropped from 5.83% to 4.77%. Looking at this general overview, we can see that the rate every year it keeps declining. We're not really seeing much progress with all this. And looking at the this graph, yeah, we can see the positions, the vice president, senators, representative, governors, deputy state assemblies. We see the female elected positions, the candidates and representations by their major parties. Looking at this graph, really, out of a total number of candidates, we just have one. Okay, number of women, we have 6. Vice presidents, we have 22. Then the elected people, total number of women elected, we had 0, the president and vice president 0. So looking at this graph, it is obvious that the progress is not really there. So how can this be addressed? How can this be addressed? How do we need to move this forward? That in the coming 2023 election, it won't be, the case will be the same. How can this be addressed? This is Mojisola. Would you like to say something? Hello?
Hello, can I get the question again?
Yes, I said looking at the graph, we can see that the rate of women politically has been declining, and then this 2020, the 2015 to 2019 election, there was a total decline from 5.83% to 4.77%. That was 2019 election, and now this forthcoming 23 election. How can we address this issue before the election so that when we are actually working towards the rate of women, the percentage of women would be increased by then? So what do you think can be done?
Yes, I'll thank you for that question. 2023 is around the corner. In fact, if we have not
Yeah.
started anything to make sure we do something about these statistics, we are already late. But then that doesn't mean we cannot still do some
Something.
actions to make sure that at least there is an increase rather than a decrease from the number. Like I said, primary election in Nigeria is the real election, whether we like it or not. Women all in all political parties, you will see women as candidates coming out to contest.
Yeah.
But to win the primaries, to have the political party leadership of the political party to have that trust in them, to have that belief in them that they are going to win for their party, is a different ballgame. And so we have a lot of work to work within the political party space and the institutions that are going to do the elections, that are going to manage the elections. So those are the two bodies that all over Nigeria, women supposed to now target them strategically. It is not about how many people register for election. It is not about the voters list now. It's about how we can be the candidate to come out of the primary. In history, you have seen all over the world where I've monitored elections, women are always higher in the voters list, but they are not there as a candidate to be voted for. And the problem is always the political party system we are running in Nigeria. Assuming PDP were the one that, that actually won that election, there will be an increase, not a decrease, because we did a lot of advocacy before we can get that within PDP space as a political party. Now, within APC space, leading the political space now, it is a difficult, it's like we started from the beginning again to advocate for women. So it's a difficult terrain for us as women-led movements in making sure that women participate. We do the policy within the INEC, within INEC electoral system, and also make sure that within the, let me tell you, if APC said they want to put a woman as a candidate, as a governorship candidate in Ogun State, that alone will make women believe that the person will win the election, whether PDP or any other party give pressure. Are you getting me?
Yes,
we will have one belief in that candidate. We will have that belief that it is possible for this person to win. And even you will see men, they will come at the back of that woman, and women will support that woman, mobilize funds for that woman to win, because the belief is a big party flaunting the person. So our biggest challenge is political party, how they can trust and believe in a woman can. So I think if everybody can channel our energy towards political party in advocating for women, we can get there. The way we advocated and run behind exile movement, the way we advocated in not too young to run, let us advocate for women in political party space. And I think we can increase the numbers.
Yes, yes, we certainly can. Thank you very much. You really hit the nail on the head. Thank you very much for that. Anyone else would like to say something on that? So just add to what she said. Hello, would anyone like to say something? Okay, we'll move forward then. Now, what are the action steps to all of this? Summary of all what we've been discussing since morning. 1, CSOs to incorporate and train women on political participation, also putting pressure on government agencies and political parties like Madam Mojisola said, and for religious leaders to help educate young women and be involved in governance. I think Sarah also actually said something on that, talking to the religious leaders themselves, because they have this mindset, and they've actually put those bad mindset into the minds of those women. So we have to work on that, educating young women to be involved in governance, and also for government and political agencies such as INEC to make electional processes transparent and to ensure that the not too young to run law is implemented. I hope you all can hear me.
Go on, we
Hello?
can hear you.
Yes,
We can hear you. Go on.
All right. Quotas and proportional representation of women in political parties, civil services, agencies, and parastatals, and also development partners to prioritize women's rights, health, and inclusive governance in their funding. And then calling on political parties to reduce the high cost of electoral forms. The needs and aspirations of young people as displayed during the End SARS and End Bad Governance should be met by the government, as this will hamper the participation of young people, particularly young women, in governance. Almost done with the summit. Is there anyone that would love to say anything, so we can just end it and call it a day? Is there anyone? Okay, in the absence of none, thank you so very much. Can we please put on our cameras? Can you please put on our cameras, please? Thank you very much for attending Age Network International Women's Day Summit. I had an amazing session with you all. It was really insightful, and I'm sure we all learned a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Sarah. Thank you, um, Madam Nnedi Jane. Thank you, Madam Mojisola. Thank you, Madam Abra Stokely. Thank you, Madam Mercy. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, everyone. Happy International Women's Day to all of you. Yes, happy International Women's Day to all of you. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.
So
Bye.
Wow.
Thank
It's
you.
nice seeing your faces.
Bye bye.